10 grams of Evapone. So 10 grams of Evapone.
In between.
In between.
So what are you doing now, Kate?
I'm going to make one of these silicone molds.
Silicone.
And the silicone mold that I want to make, this one is a different color that we'll make. This one's blue.
Oh.
We're going to take a mold area of this textile
Yeah.
on this board here,
Okay.
and we are going to imitate that it sets, and then it will imitate the second, and then we can use that to.
Are we going to use these samples to use the texture
No,
on the
we're going to use some different materials. Some are standard generic textiles, canvases. You've even played with the tissue paper, which is nice. It makes nice prints. And one group was playing with their bangles to make so you can use any kind of tool to create that texture and imitate it. But sometimes you really want to have the texture from the original. And it makes, because finding the same canvas mesh can be quite challenging. So we can use these silicone molds that we can get from the dentist. And I brought some, they're quite old, but they will still work, that I use for workshops. But if you go to the dentist, ask them for when you buy it, you can buy it, or even ask them for one or two. You can even get them for only one tooth, so it doesn't come in a big tube like this. It's really one dispenser. This is a silicone mold, so it comes with two components. One is silica and the other is a setter, it's a catalyst. And I need to mix them together first. Then I'm going to spread them out in the area that I want to copy. It needs to be very similar to where the area of the loss is. Don't do this in the loss because you don't have the texture that you have from the loss. So off center, just in case that you do something wrong. It won't. But, yeah? So it has a set time. So I don't have very long to work with it. I mix it, I spread it out. I'm going to then flatten it with something to make sure that I have it very thin. I can also use this for heat setting, but that's this afternoon. So I want to end up with something quite thin so that I don't have to put too much pressure on the surface when I'm making the imprint. And the imprint, you just push on when it's
Melanet sheet, small one. अभी दिया था ना हमने. एक काट दो फटाफट.
So, do you think this is about right? Half? Maybe a bit more than
1 to 1, right?
1 to
Ratio.
1.
Yeah.
We get it in different colors.
Yeah, the different colors mean it's different stiffnesses.
Okay.
So some of it's very. I brought 3 examples, and you'll see there's another bag in my pocket. Don't use these ones. These are my demonstration pieces, but you can see these are all different ones that you can look at. They're different products. Try something like this. So I mix. I put on here. I make it flat. I put this, and then I squash. And that makes the surface that I have on top very flat. The surface underneath will conform to the texture. How do I know this is evenly mixed? It goes from dark blue to pale blue.
Is it too sticky?
At the moment it's sticky, but it will harden into the rubber-like
कुछ एरोटाइट समझ ले जो दो चीज मिला के हम करते हैं ना.
So I still have a bit of set time. I can not waste any. A bit more here. I take my silicone, I squash it out a bit to make it over an even area. But you can see it's bumpy on the surface. So I take my flattening and I squish. And then I have to leave it to the set time. which is about 20 minutes.
20 minutes at time, right?
Take the end and I will make myself a little silicone pad. And what is really nice, I've got like a neat surface, and then I have a surface, something I know is not going to cause scratches on my object. And the hot spatula, the blue one, is to 10 minutes. But the then you go with the hard one. I just take a picture. Joanna, here's the washer.
We'll need two of them.
Same time?
Yes.
Different types of something.
Oh, texture. Oh.
Gives us some control over how it goes into a hole. So sometimes you want the filler to flow off your brush and it be very thin, and sometimes you want something that you can push into a hole because it's very deep. This gives you that control over it.
Also the movie stuff.
By opening it a little bit, and if it pulls off, then it's not cured, and if it doesn't, then it's fine. So I think it's fine.
So if you keep doing the same, if you keep doing the same out of the small boards and keep it
Watch?
yeah, I want to pull it off also.
Okay. So here for the camera, and smile for the camera.
Nice.
And then
Very
put
good.
it down and look
Show me the
inside light.
texture. Nice texture. Very good.
So then this you can take when it's
Is it ready to use? Or we have to
Blood
red paint. So that is very shallow because I'm not going to the support, I'm only going to the paint level. Whereas here we have the canvas, the ground, and the
Support.
yeah. So if I was doing this in the studio, I would try and find a thin piece of textile, cut the textile to the shape, put the textile in, and then start from the textile. To board is to just fill up the whole thing. So if I'm filling this loss as it is now, without textile, then I would want a more dense material, because if I have a fluid material, there's more solvent, the more water, the more cracking.
Day second.
Laropal or Regal Rest, those are two other popular resins. They will migrate a little bit to the structure, which means that, for example, for the painting in darker colors, it will saturate a little bit better. So there are a few different factors in which you can also think about looking at your painting. You can think about, first of all, what's the technique of painting? So what materials were used? Then second thing is also how were they applied? And actually something very interesting case you have behind your back, right? So in this case, there is very little paint layer actually and a lot of ground layer. And it is quite matte. So it's not maybe the most standard example where you have thick varnish layer and everything is glossy and saturated. And then in that case also you need to think about it, how glossy and matte it is, and also what materials were used. So the materials that we are using for retouching have to be not only similar in appearance, but they
आज हम लोग शुरू कर रहे हैं रीटचिंग. वी आर स्टार्टिंग विद रीटचिंग टुडे एंड वी गॉट tools, I mean brush, water and palette and few sheets. So we will practice to mix and match the color. For our group we got this tube of primary colors, acrylic primary colors. We'll start with this.
We need a bit of water in here. Do you have water?
Yeah, it is there. Water is there.
We have a bit of water. We got blue. Now I'm making a mess. You can make it neat. No. We don't want to make a mixture of our colours yet. Do we have tissue paper? I have. So I can just make sure that I've got no colour left in my brush. Where's the yellow going? Where am I putting the yellow?
Just next to it.
No.
Up.
So I want a space in between.
Yes.
And I want to do my yellow. So where do I want to put my red?
Yes.
My bottom right. Now you have to be a little bit more fuller. And can you see if I've got more water, I have less covering power. So now what am I doing?
Green.
How do I make green?
Yellow and blue.
Yellow and blue. So I want a bit of blue. Yeah.
Sinju, bring more tissues, please.
And I want a bit of yellow. You see it's not going into bright green because my yellow isn't very dominant. So I'm mixing a bit of yellow. What's this colour?
Orangish.
How do I make the orange?
No, I'm not good in this. I need to practice.
This is good that we're doing this one. So I need yellow and red. Orange. Put my orange here. So I have my. Oh no, I'm missing one. I'm
Yes.
missing. Which one am I missing? I'm missing purple. How do I make purple?
Blue. Yes.
Yeah. So I got the blue. So you guys are going to do this much better than me because I haven't got enough room for my purple. So now I've got this shape, this one here.
Yes.
So what did I say I was going to do now? I was going to mix 1, 2 and 3 into. So I said I'm mixing 1, 2 and 3. So I take my yellow. So I made enough green. And what do I mix it green with? A bit of the orange. So now I have another colour. And that goes in this hole here. When you do it, you can paint all the way up to the edges. I'll make it really neat and tidy. So each time I'm cleaning my brush off so that I've not got any pigment, otherwise I'm going to make a mud.
Beautiful painting is coming up.
But this is beautiful.
Yes.
I like this one.
Yeah.
So, what do I put in this one? This end here, this one.
Grayish.
Yeah, that's color green, but how do I make it?
Green, blue,
How do
One,
you
two, 1, 2, 3. So I take the blue, and then green, and a bit of the purple. Where does it go? It's in this one.
Which color?
Yeah. I want the red, and I want the orange, and I want the purple. Yes? Let's start with a bit of red. And I wanted orange. What was the third one I want?
Purple.
I mix it properly. And I can do it.
Yes.
I don't want it. So, I'm going to give you a new sheet of this and a new sheet of that, and then we can
We'll start again. Yeah. Thank you so much, Kate. Now we are not confused.
No?
Yeah, not
It's
at all.
very confusing, this. It's a good exercise.
Thank you. So after the demonstration of Kate, now I'm starting my I'm practice. So this is my colors. This is my colors, palette, and everything. So let's see how I go. This is how I'm going now. Very slow, and Kate helped me to draw all this boxes inside, and she numbered it also so that I don't get confused while filling the colors. So I'm thanking Kate again and again for the help. So I reached this stage, and believe me, this is not easy. How it looks. It is tough to mix the color and make a new color out of the primary color.
With the same system. And I think this has been a really interesting experiment for me because I'm seeing all of these different pigments. So do go around before we start the next exercise.
Red. Little bit light.
Oh no. Yes, sir. Put a little bit more yellow in.
Yes.
And the last one in the row?
Red purple.
Red and purple. Where was my purple? Purple was here, wasn't it? There.
Red.
Yeah.
Very new.
After demo, it's my turn. Finally, thank you, Kate and Joanna, for the wonderful experience. We are waiting for more such workshops and conferences in the future. See you soon. You are always welcome to India with new technology and new creations. Thank you, IGNCA, for giving us chance to learn every day. Thank you, everyone.